Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you're all having an amazing day. Today we're going to continue with the variants, and you might see here a little duck on the screen. That is because we're going to be playing duck chess. Now what is duck chess? Duck chess is a very interesting variant of chess, and it's practically normal, so there's no putting pieces down or anything. But you have this duck that you place at the end of your move. You just place it on the board. It doesn't move or anything. You just click a square and the duck goes to that square. Basically, that's all there is. And you have to move the duck every time you play a move. So you see at the start, our opponent, who's an FM by the way, placed the duck on e6, so I was unable to move my pawn to e5. So it's basically just a brick wall that you can place anywhere on the board, and it becomes really, really annoying and really, really tactical as well. We play it at the club sometimes. It's quite fun, really annoying, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. One of the rules I like to play when we're at the club is you have to say quack at the end of your turn, legally. You have to say quack every time you place a duck. It's a bit of a joke, but it's pretty funny, I think. Yeah, anyway, so I don't know much strategy about duck chess, but one of the things I have learned is that knights are similar to Crazy House. Knights are better than bishops. Even more so in duck chess, because knights can't get blocked. You see here, I can put the duck here, and their queen cannot legally take my bishop, because you move the duck after you've moved your piece. Which means they have to reclaim with the pawn. So we just got, I think, a good trade there. We've traded off one of our bishops for one of their knights, which is, I think, good. Another tactic we have is to take this pawn, and then put the duck so the queen cannot take the pawn, which I think we're actually just going to do, because that seems like a free pawn to me. So we're going to place the duck on, is that d3, I think? And now you see it's blocking the queen, so the queen's unable to take. And we're just up a pawn here. We've got a bishop for a knight, which is going to be a good trade. And I think we're just in for a good game, to be honest. We've got to be careful about getting this trapped. So I think we're probably just going to move it back and play safe. I want to try keep these knights out of the game for as long as possible, to give them less chance of pins, because pins are the immediate tactic to win a bishop for a knight, like we just did to our opponent. But yeah, another sort of annoying thing about duck chess is that it's very hard to checkmate your opponent, because your opponent can move into check and then block the check with the duck, which is going to get really, really annoying. So I think here we can take the second knight. And we're going to go ahead and block this. So we're just limiting their piece activity at the minute. We're going to probably play an f6, just to sort of stop the bishop coming in potentially. I don't want to pin my knight to my rook. That doesn't seem like a particularly good idea. So I think here, probably even an e5, to be honest, and place the duck straight back on d3. It's very hard to castle in duck chess, because you can be blocked by the duck. Very hard to castle. So you've got to sort of make threats of castling both sides, which can be a bit annoying. I think here we might finally get this knight in the game. And we'll go duck there, because I don't like this diagonal for their queen. And we're threatening to take back. There's nothing they can do to stop us taking back. And yeah, let's go there. And then we're threatening, actually, that's a mating threat. Knight to f3. And we place the duck back onto e2, and there's nothing they can do about it. That is the immediate. So if they try get a bishop for the knight, yeah, so that I think fixes their problem. But we can get rid of their castling rights with a duck to duck to e2, and then the king's going to be forced to go to f2. Is it necessary? I'm not sure. I think it's going to be good, though. I'm a bit worried about getting the knight trapped. Okay, so what they've done actually a pretty clever move. They stopped us retreating with this knight. So this knight's practically permanently in this game at this point. Which is really annoying. Really annoying. We can go back this way. And then what we'll do, we'll again place the duck on e2, just limiting their piece activity. And if they were even to get a pin here, what we can do is actually move the knight back and then place the duck on one of these two squares that's blocking the bishop from the king. There are no checks in duck chess as well, by the way, because you have the tactics of moving the duck after to block checks. So yeah, you've actually got to physically capture the king, which is sort of strange. I know it's quite common in a few variants, but yeah, it takes a while to get your head around it. Anyway, I hope you're all enjoying these variant episodes. I like variants. They're a great sort of break from chess, especially since we've been putting a lot of pressure on this 1900 goal. It's nice to take a break from that, and hopefully in the next couple of days we will be back on the grind. I'm reevaluating my openings at the minute. We'll keep the duck on what is that, d3. Yeah, I'm reevaluating my openings at the minute as well. So yeah, hopefully things will feel better once we come back to the old rapid. But anyway, we're not playing that right now. We're playing duck chess. We have potential mating threats here with the same sort of tactic we were on about going here. So we can go queen there. Actually, can we go queen there? No, we can't go queen there, because what they can do, they can take this and then put the duck there, which blocks a check after their move. So we're going to move this knight and then put the duck there. That's protecting our rook from the bishop. I would potentially consider trading off one of the knights for a bishop, and then going to a bishop versus knight endgame. I think would be a good shout. Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting move. I think here we're going to finally go for... Oh, actually, no. This is a free piece. It's a really annoying free piece as well. We take the knight, and then they're going to be kicking themselves with a duck to e3 or e2, blocking the queen from the defense of that bishop. That's the sort of move where you're reevaluating your reasons to play variants of chess, because this is just like, it's such a basic tactic, but your brain's just not used to thinking in this way. You know, you're used to thinking, oh, this bishop's completely defended, it's fine. But in reality, it's just a free piece. So we're up a piece here. We're up 4 pawns, I want to say, with nasty pawn islands for them. So I think we should be relatively good here. What we can do is take that. Yes. What's their threat? I'm not sure. Oh, can they long castle? Can they long castle out of that? You can. Oh, that's devastating. That's really, really annoying. Okay, maybe just a check then. How about check, duck there? That's interesting. Separating the queen from the knight, but self-blocking. So they have to either move their king, or they have to keep the duck back on here. Ooh. Now, that I just win? I just get the king? See, normally this would be check, so you have to deal with this. But in reality, and their tactic is actually quite sound, if it wasn't for their king hanging. you know, I can't keep the duck here. So I can't, the duck has to move. So I can't not move the duck. So the duck has to go here, or like queen here. Queen here actually probably works. And then move the duck somewhere else, so the queen can take the rook, and then put the duck there, which is really, really annoying. That blocks my queen from their queen. That's insane. Unfortunately, I can just take their king. So, yeah, that's the first game of duck chess. Let's go in for another one, because this is amazing. I love it so much. So we're in game 2 of duck chess at the minute versus. It's a provisional rating. It's 1476. We have a provisional rating as well because I've not played much online, mostly over the board. Yeah, let's see how it goes. They've not made a move yet. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they've immediately stopped the fianchetto, which is probably smart. The Scandinavian is a bad opening in duck chess because they can take. And then put the duck on d7, which blocks the queen from recapturing the knight. So you're probably forced to play like a knight f6 Scandinavian, at which c4 I think would probably be good. They're bringing their knight out very quickly. Do I mind a d4 here? I don't know if I... Yeah, I think I like that. I think I like that. We'll put the duck back on e2 again. Just keep limiting their pieces, especially the bishops. We don't want to walk into any pins too soon. And after takes, the duck's also stopping a queen e2 with the threat of check, which is really, really annoying. So I think this sort of... Is this a Frenchish setup? Seems okay. I think we can just take this, potentially. We could also do like a bishop check and then go duck there. Seems annoying. So they have to block that way. At which point we can trade off. So this is like a forced trade here, I think. I'm pretty sure. And again, if they take, we're looking for this bishop pin on the queen, which would be really, really nice. Queen there could work. No, but then they have to deal with the check, so they would have to go... Oh, they've gone king. That can't... That's got to be a misclick, right? No. Wow. That's strange. What's your thought process behind that, my friend? I'm not quite sure. I'll go knight there. And then we'll still play duck there because I don't want to get kicked out really from c3. King up's a strange move. It doesn't seem like the move you really want to get castled in duck chess. Ooh, there's a nice tactic if you castle though. You've got a potential smothered mate straight away. Because of duck on h8, I think would work. Like if this was a white knight and I was castled, duck on it. Well, I'll show you when I get castled, but I think that's a really nice tactic that could potentially work. Okay, so they go to kick us out now, which is probably fair enough. Probably fair enough. Oh, this is dangerous, actually. This is really, really dangerous. Is my bishop trapped? Thing is, if we go back, they have b4 duck on b7, which traps my bishop. And if I go this way, they have a very similar idea with this pawn as well. That's devastating, though. Ah, have I got duck there myself? I think I might do. That's a really cool idea, to be fair. So I'm going to put the duck there. So that means on their turn, they can't put the duck there because they have to move the duck. I think that works. This is so confusing. It's brilliant. I love it so much. Yeah, and now you see they couldn't keep the duck there. So now we get to retreat safely. And we'll put the duck on there. That seems to work. If they push, I probably have to push myself. Or I could go, yeah, I could go there, to be fair. What's that, A5, I think works. A5 works, I believe. Yeah, and I'm just, again, trying to delay their development the best I can. And I think as soon as we get a move anyway, we're going to try castle. So we can castle here, and then just keep up with the blocking the knight in, I think is the best way to go. Because knights, like we said, are just so powerful in duck chess. Okay, rook there is interesting. Okay, can I now go... No, I can't. I can't because of knight takes duck on this diagonal is really annoying. So... Ooh. Takes? What was the idea of duck h8? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, so we'll trade off, and potentially trade off queens would be a lot less scary, I think. Then potentially look for e5 ideas. I'm not sure about that one, though. I'm not sure about that one. Potentially even a knight d5 could work. With some checks like a duck here blocking the bishop could work. Yeah. Okay. What's the purpose of that then? I don't think that does anything. I think we just get a free pawn out of that one. There's no threat, surely. Put the duck there. Just try blocking their rook if they're trying to go for some sort of tactics. And now we can start to push this pawn as well. Free up the bishop. We could even look for some bishop. Is that G4 with like duck on F3? So they can't push their pawn or block that, and they really have to deal with that. That's going to be a nightmare for them, I think. Again, with these variants, it's all just like, I think this potentially could work. You know, there's no real calculation because your brain's just not wired in this way. Like, you're so used to playing normal chess. Like, I don't know what anything could happen. Okay, they're looking for push. I don't think push does anything. So let's... can I take again? Oh, I just take the king? No? Yeah, they just blundered. I just take the king. Because it doesn't warn you when you're in check. I think I can just... Yeah. Well then. 2 games, 2 wins. I wish we could do that in normal chess. Because I would be master already. Anyway. That's duck chess. Give it a go. Again, on chess.com, 4-player invariants section. You'll find it with a little rubber ducky icon. Give it a go. It's so fun. You really have to change the way you think about checks, especially, and how pieces defend each other. Definitely give it a go. Give it a go in person as well if you play at a club. Just get like a new piece or something. Ideally different colours. If you have like... we have a 4-player set at the club, so we use like one of the green pawns as the duck. It'd be good if there was a yellow pawn. I don't think we have one of them though. Yeah, give it a go. It's a good laugh. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.